Have you ever had much hate?
Oh yeah. That's
And how do you deal with that? Because I know it's holding people back from creating content. I have this coaching client, and she's a therapist, and she really wants to. I mean, she has a local clients, but now she wants to take her business to the next level and actually, reach people from all over the world. So we'd be talking about, maybe launching a podcast or a YouTube channel. And she's like, yeah, but if I'm going to talk about all these topics that are so controversial, I'm sure I'm going to get lots of hates, and I do not really want to do that. What would you say to people who receive hate and who are discouraged to continue create content?
yeah. I think let's separate the hate because I think there's wide segments of hate, right? And so I think inside of hate, there's a subset of people who just want to be acknowledged. So in the past, I received messages, and pretty tough messages. Um, let's say not constructive criticism messages, and it's quite amazing what people can do with slang in the English language. It's really quite remarkable. It can be creative. So if you feel that this person can be engaged, then yeah, I think it's worth trying. And I've had a lot of success with engagement in diffusing quite a few people. In fact, you can even turn a hater into someone who supports you. Um, Often people want to be heard, and think about this. And the fact that people are voicing it is actually better than silent hate, which you can get on the internal side with a team, right? Someone can have a lot of animosity towards you and not tell you anything about it until they leave, and then vent all of that animosity. And then you can't. Then it's too late to do anything except for, um, wish that you could have known, so you maybe could have made some changes. So there's a subset that you can work with, and then there's a subset that you know no matter what you do, they will find a way to twist it against you. And that's happened a few times. And there's only one way to deal with that. And for your coach, it's that you get better at what you do. So when I first started the Japanese Pod 101 podcast, actually early on, it was a sister site popped up that would note all of the mistakes that I made inside of the podcast. Like literally go through like have a transcript of at 4:05, Peter said this, but guess what? They were actually really good at it. They didn't have any way to contact. Yeah, they didn't have any contact. Otherwise, I was going to try to reach out and hire them.
So,
So
yeah.
at first I felt sad. And then there's two options. I could have shut it down and be like, yeah, maybe I'm not meant to do this. But I took the other approach and hired a team. And we went through the content I was creating. And the podcast got better and better. And eventually they shut the site down. They said, recently, Peter hasn't made so many mistakes. So we feel our work is done. In a way, they did accomplish their goal, not in a tactful way, but we got better. And that's all you can do. You can only control what is in your ability to control. So it's your coaching friend. The only thing that coach can do is get better and better and better.
Yeah. I also remember that once we had a conversation on this topic in I think this was the first inner circle, or like the meeting that we did last year. And I think there you came up with the idea of, so this was a person who was receiving hate from other creators. And you were, I think the advice that you gave there is that they should socialize, connect to everybody else in their industry, do collaborations, basically make sure that everybody in the industry knows you and is your fan, that you have a good relationship with everybody. So as soon as you get attacked by someone, you have created this army of people who like you, and then they will solve the issue they will defend you. Can you expand on that?
Yeah, I think a lot of, again, we're always constantly changing and going through these changes. And I think a lot of this advice, going to just what you touched on, is, if you take your best foot and you always put it forward, if you're bigger than someone else and you help them, then they may or they may not help you later. It's not really a preemptive move, but if you're sincere and you're transparent and you're out there to help other people, people will acknowledge that sincerity and the fact that you helped them when they needed it. And when you do that, then people will defend you. You can't always count on them too. Sometimes people are in their own interest, and you can't, I helped you, I need your help now. You can't always expect that. And that's why you do the best to control what you can. But if you stop for a minute and take a look sideways rather than always what you're trying to get done, and sometimes you can see different angles and the value in, building relationships inside the industry. And it's something that, an area that I wish I had done earlier too. I wish I'd reached out to some of these other people. I wish I had deepened connections with people like yourself and other people inside of this inner circle, because, there's a lot to be said when you have a network, a lot of happiness, a lot of interest when you travel to meet someone, and there's a lot of benefits that come to this. So, building that up within the industry, can be very, very powerful way. But the motivation should always be sincerity when you're doing this, and transparency. And then, if you do the right thing, a lot of times you'll be surprised people will do the right thing by you.
Yeah. So in the end, it all comes down to having this positive mindset, right? Having this positive mindset, of wanting to improve, seeing criticism as feedback, that can help you improve yourself, but also cultivating all these relationships, going out there, just doing a lot of good things and staying positive. Is that the answer then to how to deal with hate?
Yeah. And, you're going to eventually, if you're mentally tough enough, it's going to make you stronger. It's going to make you better. But man, I'm not saying it's not easy when you're getting bombarded with hate mail. I didn't like looking at that site every day. It wasn't like the most motivating thing. But again, we go back to this looking back in hindsight versus, but I would have been, there are lots of people look back in hindsight who quit because of something like this. And you can't let that happen. Can't. Call me up if you're debating whether, email me directly. I won't let you do it because, looking back, we've grown so much, and that site is, I don't know where it is.